Mac alerts Dennis to pictures of this guy and his mom, which is pretty cheeky. We establish some key lore regarding Mac and Charlie's fathers. Dennis and Dee get a new dad. The continuity goof with Geno's. So taking Frank to a fancy place to behave himself. And he almost automatically steers the conversation towards incest. Enter Rad Archer, all invested in the incest narrative. Sister banging loud enough for the whole restaurant to hear. Archer and DeVito are easily into that volatile chemistry. Barbara reveling in the blasé confession of parentage. DeVito's restaurant stopping whore rant is just on a par with Charlie's later Santa gnashing. It's excellent. It's loaded with part gibberish, and you can almost see this fall from the table as a transition from Frank 1.0 to 2.0. And now we're introduced to Gregory Scott Cummins. Whatever you do, don't blink. Blink and you're dead. Luther O'Donnell's cold unflinch will become a staple, but here he's a little bit more menacing for being less passive. And he knows exactly what buttons to push. I love Charlie's cape here. It's very John Crichton. Frank browsing the internet with guns. Always Sully has always had fun with double entendres, and here Mac and Charlie are interested in getting hard. I love the unkempt little curls in Danny's hair here, and how his gun was reloaded in short order. Stephen Collins brings such high level of optimism and wonder to Bruce Mathis. This guy's a genuine social justice hero. Bruce isn't just a helpless official on the receiving end of the gang's pitches. He's a guy who just doesn't fit in their world, and that's such a much more interesting conceit. Dee and Dennis just can't comprehend the fact of him. Charlie is working up his bad new tattoo, which will reappear down the line. Luther gives exactly the same advice on finding a target as Frank is given on finding a MySpace friend. Charlie and Mac are of course terrified. Bruce has offered the kids anything of his that they want, and Dennis isn't long on using his altruism to buy the attractions of a good-looking woman. We get a nice reprise from the burning building scene of gnomic hats. Charlie and Mac's assault on Bruce is a choreographed comedy, from Mac's veering off to Charlie's just standing there and embracing the awkward pause. Charlie will slap some sense into the very weak Mac. Danny looks fantastic with the glasses and a hoodie here. Anne Archer's distaste in being in a hospital is emanating from the offset. And so, despite a handful of appearances, I think she's every bit as much a member of the gang, as she has no tact regarding a child who may be dying. She's actually worse than Dennis and Dee, and still not above scheming to get back in Bruce Mathis's good books, or stealing pills. And while the gang's petty bickering over acts of selflessness in a hospital are funny enough, the fact that they're wearing red noses while doing it is an extra layer. They want their home comforts of a proper temperature and a bite to eat. Dennis and Dee seek out Frank, who's dependable in his degradation, but he's not into being their dad anymore. And of course we always focus on Frank possibly being Charlie's father, but there's a lovely subtextual joke leading up to this. Bonnie doesn't even know where her son lives. I'm kind of sad that we lose Anne Archer after this, but what a fantastic set of performances from everyone.